Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we're getting to some more Tower of God, and I feel like we're getting into some kind of either we're already doing the little mini tournament for the train tickets, or we're doing something that's like a preamble to that because we have gotten to Train City and it seems like there's some ominous stuff going on. I feel like there's no way that the challenge doesn't start immediately. Whether that is just because of how the tower works, that I don't trust anything, but also like, why would you sit around and wait when you know there are a bunch of people around who have tickets? Just because there's a tournament thing happening that has official rules and guidelines and stuff, why would you wait? I feel like people are gonna be trying to get those tickets before it even starts, because why not, right? I feel like we're gonna be getting into some stuff. We were told not to go to the entrance because there are guardians of some kind, but of course that's where Ron is with his group, because never tell a coon that he can't do something, because that seems to be a great way to convince them to do something. And then we had Bomb with his little group, and it said that they were going to go to the residence area to meet some friends, and I just had this sneaking suspicion that we may run into someone we know, but I don't know if they'll be friends. So we'll see if any of my predictions are correct. So let's get into these chapters. I don't know, would the restaurant be safe? I don't know. Maybe not. I'm suspicious of everything at this point. Yep. Don't go to the entrance. I mean, that person has glowing eyes. That seems like a bad thing. Glowing eyes are never good. Poor Felix. I guess it also makes sense for if you have someone injured to go to the residence area, because then at least you can have a room where you can put your injured and let them rest. I don't know if I would trust it though. You better guard Felix, because again, I'm assuming everyone here has a ticket to board this train. So I'm assuming everyone else is going to be making the same assumption, which means that they're just going to attack someone to get their ticket. And they're not really going to think about checking first if they have one. I think they're just going to attack and hope that they have one. Or if they don't have one, then they've gotten rid of some competition who might try to steal it, right? Don't leave your friend unattended like you did on the train before. Just some advice. They went to the entrance. Yes, some of them did. Would they? I guess it depends on who he's thinking of. Is he thinking of Ron and like that group because they're like a, I don't know, bonus side quest group, as opposed to like Shibitsu and that group and like Kun, right? Like those are different groups of people as opposed to Ron and Novik and stuff, because they're doing their own thing, finding Casino. I mean, there's kind of a guide who's also a hostage, but also not. It's complicated. Oh, okay, that person seems scary, but I think that would just make Ron want to fight them. Just bring out your strongest fighter and Ron will fight it. Beta will definitely want to fight it. Not even turning around. There's confidence there, if nothing else. I don't know, don't say that the person doesn't look strong, because that just feels like you're putting that out into the universe and it's gonna deliver back at you, right? I think they're just arguing about who's gonna fight this person. I feel like it's gonna take all of you. I feel like it's gonna be a group effort. That's my current guess. Anytime I see anything that's like vaguely shadow-like, I'm just thinking of the shadows things that we saw before. With the whole like making the deal with the shadow. So now I'm just like suspicious and nervous about everything. Okay, so those are the doors that we need to get through, I'm assuming, for the little tournament. They're trying to put the puzzle together, but I feel like we're still gonna fight them. Just for the thrill, to prove something. Again, don't tell a coon that they can't do something. That just, they take it as a challenge. See? Just gonna take it as a challenge. You'd be much better off not making a big deal out of it. Eliminated feels like a strong word too. Is it gonna open automatically? Are the doors gonna open and they're just gonna see this situation going on and awkwardly just be like, we're actually going to the next floor? Or is it just gonna stop and then continue on? Because usually if the elevator stops, the doors open and then close, even if you're not getting off, right? He knows some Foog members, just casually. I don't know if friends is the right word, but he knows some. Yeah, I'd also be a little suspicious of someone who's just like casually like, oh, I have a friend who's related to Foog. I'd be like, do Foog members have friends? Current, a company not included? I feel like Bodo knows more than he's letting on. I feel like he's seen some things. I feel like everyone has some kind of tie. Either they're related to Foog in some way, or they have encountered them, or there's something going on. I feel like Bomb just finds those people that are somehow intertwined, or even unintentionally, right? I feel like there are so many plans and years devoted to getting to this point that some people have just been manipulated by Foog without even knowing it. Ah, the first time. I don't know if troublesome is the word I would use. I might use slightly stronger language to describe just running into Foog randomly on a hell train of all things. I don't know. Can you live quietly? Does Foog just let people go? I feel like that's not what happens. And also, it's hard to not do something when you know that there's a bunch of shady things going on. I know that we're talking about Bomb, by the way, just in case it's not obvious. I know that the friend, quote unquote, that we're talking about is in fact Bomb himself. Me too, but I also feel like it's gonna hurt. Okay, so we're not gonna get off or have the doors open at the entrance, so we're not gonna awkwardly run into the fight that is ensuing with this guardian. Oh, poor guy carrying a whole other person. Oh, he looks sad in that panel though. He's dealing with some things. Ugh, I hate that throwaway. He can't do that. I feel like these members have names and personalities, hopes and dreams and stuff. That one girl wants to be an idol. Do we throw them away? I feel like he just collects them. Team Sweet and Sour, right? He was like, oh, I'm just gonna use this team because I need a team to get through this test, and then we're gonna go our separate ways because you don't matter to me. He already tried that, and now they're Team Sweet and Sour. So I feel like Bomb doesn't have people that he just uses and throws away. He just collects more of them as he goes, which is why we have such a big cast at this point. It's not how his brain works. I don't like that foreshadowing, especially since she's usually right. I feel like she usually says things that end up becoming true. I literally said recently that I was like, we haven't had a lot of main cast people die, and now I'm like, it's probably gonna happen though. I'm just like on the edge of my seat waiting for that moment. I don't trust it. Just like it says it's going to eliminate us. You already picked a fight. What do you want us to do now? I don't even need to open the door. It's the principle of the thing. I feel like it's not gonna go well. Yeah, just one shot all of them simultaneously. Gosh, is that an open pit? Dang, you really are not allowed to go towards that door. We really didn't have a plan, did we? It was just like, I don't know, let's pick a fight for the principle of it. Oh, we just jumping ahead? I feel like now he's just gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be an actual fight. Now I'm interested. Ooh, we got the dots on the face and everything. Okay, we're like fighting. We're not gonna save it for the tournament? That's what I said. I'm like, the tournament's just around the corner. So why are we pulling out all the stops now? So stubborn. You can't just wait? Just wait a minute. It's fine. The door will be open for you. You don't need to fight everyone just because they tell you not to do something. But like I said, never tell a coon not to do something. It's gonna be a little treat for them to figure out how to do it. I don't like we're focusing in on this again. We're repeating it to be like, make sure you remember that teammates are gonna die this time. And I'm like, but I like all of them. Well, there's some of them that I'm like, about, but the majority of them I like. And I know that Bomb likes them and he wants to protect them, and that's like his thing, is he's gonna be able to protect his friends and be with them now. So I need that to not be what happens in this, but I feel like it probably will. Who are we gonna meet? There's gonna be someone there. There's gonna be someone there, and I don't know if they're actually gonna be friends. I want it to be Rock, just for personal preference. I miss my boy, but I feel like it's gonna be someone else. It's gonna be Rachel at some point. I still think she's probably the idol person, so I know it to some extent. If she is the idol is gonna be there. But it's gonna be someone that we don't want to meet. I just feel that deep in my gut, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we are. But I hope that we meet someone that we haven't seen in a while. And I hope that would be so much nicer than the dread that I currently feel. Wow, I was right. There's a few people there. There's 100 tickets, right? I would not want to be in a room with a bunch of people who are like strong enough to have train tickets, and you're just like all in a room, especially in the middle of the room. I don't want to turn my back on somebody. Oh, okay. So these people who don't have a ticket. Okay, that makes it even scarier because they're all gonna see you enter and they're gonna be like, this person might have a ticket and pick a fight with you. Are we gonna have to fight our way through this? Because there's a lot of people and I don't want to deal with that. Yep. Everyone's trying to get a ticket. My shoulders tense again. I noticed the more I go through these chapters, the more I slow curl in on myself because I just get stressed. Yep. This poor girl who was just in the wrong train car at the wrong time and has just been brought into all of this madness. Okay, so like whatever number's on the ticket is gonna get us into that particular room? Yep. So everybody wants... See, glowing eyes are never good. Name me one time when glowing eyes were a good thing. Because if you make a beeline to be like, oh, I'm just gonna go and open up the door of one of these residents, then you know that you have a ticket. If you walk in, you just mill around and you find your spot and settle in, then oh, that person probably doesn't have a ticket, or we're gonna have to do some investigation to find out if they do. But if you just walk in and go directly to one of the doors, they're gonna try and intercept you the moment you get there, because that's when they know you have a ticket, and they'll probably see it because you'll have to take the ticket out. I'm stressed. Oh yeah, too, or they might just like, go into the room. Even if you use the ticket, you open up the room, they might just be waiting for that moment to get inside, and then they can deal with you there without other people interfering, right? Then they can get your ticket. It's even scarier somehow. This makes me stressed. Okay, so someone, which one though? Because Kun said that he was gonna be late, so I feel like it's not him, which makes you think maybe Shibitsu and Dorsey, who would be talking to him, sending him messages. Yeah, stick together. Don't be creepy. Wander up to someone and be like, hey. I guess that's better than the alternative though. At least it's straightforward in the open. Are we recruiting people? That's also creepy. And why are we approaching the girl for that? Don't be weird. I'm just saying. I was like, oh, my bad, guy. I'll just be on my way. You didn't see him? You were analyzing the whole group? Head on a swivel, man. Everyone here is trying to get one of these tickets. Do you? I don't trust you. You give me ick. Idle person. I don't know what her deal is entirely, but I'm worried. Also, just by yourself. That seems probably a bad idea. Oh, I love that shot pulled out where they're like, there's so much distance between them, but there's also, they're so close and there's nothing in between them, really. The potential for them to intersect. Oh, the tension. Can you scan the ticket and get into any room? Because that seems dangerous for them. Because anyone with the ticket can just scan and unlock the door, as opposed to if you have the ticket, but the number matches the room. Okay, so they have to unlock it. At least there's that. Yeah. Like all the people who are like, oh, you do have a ticket, or you know someone who has a ticket because you're able to get into one of the rooms. Boy, you just need to not pick a fight with everyone. I'm just saying. Poor Dan, who's just, I don't think that's what's going on. I feel like we should just leave. Obviously, we're in the wrong place. Oh, okay. Oh, sweet, actually. Strategic. Thinking things through. I feel like maybe not use his, I mean, I guess if you're like assessing how strong the other person is. So it's who could go 1-to-1 with this opponent. It's probably Ren. So if anyone's gonna use up their tricks and still be able to hold their own in the tournament, it's probably him. That too. That might be more to the point. I was like, maybe he just doesn't understand fully, or maybe it's because he thinks of like Kun, like AA, right? That's like his gauge of someone being in charge of the team or like interacting with a Kun. So that might be why he's thinking that's what Ren is planning. But then you get someone like Beta, who's basically a twin image, a parallel image to Ren, which does, one, is worrisome to have them both together. I hope that they figure out a way to actually work together, but two, makes me more curious about Ran's backstory and what he's been through, because Beta's been through some stuff, but they get each other. They're kindred spirits, whether or not they want to admit it. Begrudgingly, they understand each other, they get each other. And I feel like, yeah, this is a challenge for Ren. Even if it is for the tournament, ultimately, I feel like this is him, I don't know, testing the waters. Can he fight someone who is in charge of fighting the gate? Because if he can go up against someone who is supposed to be keeping the other contestants out, then he can take on the other contestants, right? Because they would have put someone that they knew would be able to defeat any of the people who are trying to get to the tournament early. I'm assuming they would prepare for that, which means that if he can take down this guardian, then there's not going to be any other challenge in the actual tournament, because he's already taken down the person who's supposed to be keeping those people in line. He's just like, fun, but I'm not gonna do it. Gonna let him have this. I guess it's probably like an in-between. Like I said before, like he's probably also, maybe it's not just to ensure that his team doesn't use up their power before this, but it can also, again, be like, how do I make sure that I'm strong enough to not only make it through this tournament, but strong enough to carry everyone with me if I have to? Hoping that he doesn't, hoping that they can hold their own and be able to do their own thing, but he's very used to thinking only of himself and working just on his own. If he can do it solo, then that means that if he has to ensure that everyone gets through this to the other side intact, because that's his assignment, then he wants to be able to do that. He wants to be able to prove that he can and challenge that. Yeah, he does not see them as a threat at all. Didn't he attack without even turning around? We have not had this person make eye contact. I feel like Ran he comes off as super impulsive, but there's strategy there. There's thought and planning and awareness of the situation. I feel like there's just also this unwavering confidence. I like the escalation, the process of breaking down, it powering up. I feel like he's not gonna dodge it. I think he's gonna try and block it. Again, like a proving of strength. I also think he's probably fine. Oh good, we're okay. Was that just Bomb, or did we all help? Because I feel like Bomb could just do this on his own. Okay, so this is Bomb just being like, hang on, I got this. Oh, they're only A rank? He's fine. He's got this. Oh, I feel like maybe you've had more of an encounter with Foog than before. Maybe with a certain person who may or may not have helped train a certain VLA. Maybe. It's my sweet boy. I was hoping he would be the one. He's probably so mad that he was left without his turtle. Oh, and he's full size. Look at him go. Gosh, who's arriving now? Is this Rachel and team? Because they had the cloaks. And I see Freckles. Okay, so maybe not the idol. So who's the idol then? Who do we know? Endorsi? One of the other princesses of Jihad? Maybe? I'm just thinking who would be like in stealth mode, but would know about Bomb. That isn't Rachel. Maybe I'll figure out like right before it happens. I hope so. I like feeling smart. I'm stressed as always. So maybe I was wrong about the idol being Rachel. We haven't fully seen Rachel's face, so there's still a chance that she is, but probably not. I don't know. I feel like why focus on one of the other people that was helping Rachel and not just on Rachel herself if we know that's who this is gonna be. I don't know. The idol's important though. We're gonna deal with her because she knows who Bomb is, and we've already set up a potential meeting with them with like all of the tension. I'm so happy my boy Rock is there and in full force. He's probably gonna be mad because his turtle left him, but also came back with a bunch of new people. And he's like, he's always so soft-hearted. I'm like, you say that like you don't also have a soft heart. We all know that Rock is a softie deep down. He's loyal. He chooses the people he cares about, but I think he's gonna thrive in this. I feel like you put him in like a tournament arc and he's just, heck yeah, put me in, coach, right? He's gonna enjoy the hunt. I feel like just telling him to get one of these tickets, he was like, oh, I get to hunt somebody down? Nice. But excited to see more of Ran fighting and his fighting style and what that entails. I feel like this fight is gonna push him. I don't know if he's gonna be successful, but I think that the reason he wants to do it is because it's going to push him, and I do think that he has something to prove. And it's like what Dan was saying of Ran, this is his first time like leading a team and having a proper like assignment and trying to prove himself as someone who can fill that role. And I think that is something that he's trying to grow into. I feel like with the workshop battles, he had to go beyond his more like impulsive nature and like his cockiness, honestly, the confidence that he has. He was used to being the strongest person in the room, and suddenly he was up against people who could really give him a run for his money. And that has made him realize that he has a lot more to learn, a lot more training, a lot more to prove. And as they progress further and further up the tower and through these different challenges, he's realizing how far he has to grow, but also the potential for that growth. And I think that he wants to go up against this person because he wants to not only prove himself as a fighter or as someone who is able to take on whoever is in this tournament and the Hell Train beyond that, but I think that he also wants to prove that he's strong enough to protect all of the people that he is currently in charge of and show that he can fit that leadership role. Makes me curious about his backstory. I want to learn some more about his experience and what it was like for him growing up, because I know that the Coons are not the most loving and caring of people. It's not the most nurturing environment to grow up in. So I'm sure that because I see so many parallels between him and Beta, that he's definitely been through a lot of things, because we know what Beta has been through and the extent to which he was isolated and forced to do things that he didn't want to do and experimented on, tortured, like all those things. And if I can see a similarity in personality and worldview to Ran, that makes me think that there are probably some parallels to their experiences that built that kind of worldview and personality. I want to know because I'm curious, but I'm also like, will it completely shatter me? Maybe. But I like that the friends that we have met are actually friends. I know we're gonna encounter some other people who are probably not friends that we know from the past, but I'm glad that we at least have some people to back us up and some of the better fighters and a guide, which is good. We'll see how this all goes with the tournament, especially with Rachel there. I'm just like, not ready. I thought it'd be like the Hell Train, that there would be an interaction, but maybe there still won't be an interaction for the tournament. But I feel like there'll at least be something. They're gonna have to deal with the Rachel of it all at some point, and I'm just not ready for what that will do to Bomb. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click Let's Plays to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.